Okay, first something say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashim Al Shai Bashim Gakadash. Give Devon say all this possible and teachers great meal son for Allah and the shoot. Now say Shalom to the hopeful elect of Israel. And I'm gonna send this on the vision going on here in Babylon, the Great America, which is prophesied, and this is all contribute. This is just another factor or variable that's contributing to the downfall of America, because you already have the people that are that lost their trust and morale in the leaders, and Donald Trump is a prime example of that. The people here in America, the majority of people here in America, pretty much Donald Trump was their last hope, and as you currently see, or as they currently realize, he's fucking all them over. So the morale and that hope that Americans once had, that's fucking gone. Americans are pretty much now just surviving, doing whatever, absolutely whatever it takes to survive and to make money. Now you still do have a few people that have hope, but more and more people starting to realize that that something is clearly wrong. I'm not going to say they realize that's the end of the world, because obviously niggas are still fucking partying. But they realize that they've been lied to when it comes to not only the American dream, but everything else in this world. Dating is something as well, because once again, the whole societal, there's no more families, there's no more relationships, there's no more dating, and that's a big thing, because that dating and relationships lead to children. And America, I think it's like 40 to 60% of women, of Gen Z women, don't want to have children. And the women who do have children are complete, they're single mothers, and they're complete fucking idiots. So they're raising, this whole Gen Alpha, they're raising a bunch of little niggas that have further of a less of a belief in the country. But you have a similar thing going on in Rome. But a nation, people don't understand that although a nation can, a country, a kingdom can take continual hits, there's only so many times you can patch up a nation. Not only that, but when it comes to certain things like foundational structures of a nation, for example, the trust of the people within its government or its leaders, and baby making, if shit like that gets hit and negatively affected, the nation's gonna fucking collapse soon, one way or another, sooner or later. Because you can't have a nation without people. And you have this whole LA riots, protests, just gonna skim a little bit through. And now, and if I'm not mistaken, you have that dumb bitch, that dumb blonde nigger, short hair, no hair having bitch. That's pretty much talking about how there's nothing to see, how nothing is going on, how everything is under control. Which this isn't just some type of isolated event, It's going to spread. To send in the National Guard over because that bitch didn't want to do anything. I personally think she's fucking set up, just off of the fact of how she defunded the fire department right before those fires started. And when they started, she was on a trip in Africa getting her damn shit clapped by some tall fucking Hamites. Long neck, long leg Hamites. Or Jake that's down there, getting her shit pounded out. That's what I believe, because once again, she was gone on vacation during that shit, and she took away funding from them. So I personally think she's set up, because she's also talking about how nothing's going on, how everything's under control. Meanwhile, Trump sending the fucking National Guard because how bad the rioting is. And not only that, but people looting. It's not, a lot of these riots, it's not just rioting going on. It's people breaking into stores and stealing shit. But I'm just going to skim through, because once again, this is another step towards the downfall of America, because this is stemming up that spirit, more of that spirit of rioting, um, and more of that spirit of, the people being against their government, which you see, from what I've seen, it doesn't take much for the National Guard or the federal troops to get sent into a city. It doesn't take much. It's not like niggas are fucking dying or getting their damn heads stomped in. A couple of cars, setting fire, and some looting. Washington immigration agents have arrested 330 immigrants to Los Angeles since Friday, the White House confirmed Wednesday. And in LA specifically, this is rioting is it's mainly about the immigration thing. But let me see here. This is just, I guess, a swath of articles referring to the riots. But you go on the news, there's a lot of niggas burning up cars, fucking up storefronts and shit like that. You got people in those riots that aren't necessarily there for the immigration thing, but they're there just to cause havoc. You have a lot of people that are waiting in the cut for their chance to do damage. A lot of fucking people want to, I'm guaranteed you have some people that's in there just fucking up those cars. They just want to burn some shit up. They just want to watch the world burn. You got people like that are waiting I think there was an older brother that played a video maybe like a month ago, going to how there was this Jake that was on Instagram or one of these social media sites that was talking. He was saying this shit with a smile. This nigga said he can't wait until the economy collapses so he can hurt some people. You have a lot of niggas, niggas that you shaking hands with, niggas that fucking that's great at their job. Everybody loves them. Meanwhile, these niggas are fucking torturing a cat to death, practicing for when they do it on a human. The Lord has spirits created for vengeance, and he's holding all these niggas back. But I'm just gonna go here. At least 14 people are facing federal charges tied to immigration protests that have roiled LA in recent days, with alleged crimes ranging from assaults on officers. And that's another thing, they're actually like throwing bricks at people, at officers, not just people. They're beating the shit out of officers, throwing bricks at officers. Once again, you had Trump pulling the National Guard. That's gonna what? That's gonna crack you niggas fucking heads open. It's gonna return fucking fire. And he had talks of this could this be the start of a civil war. And say that although not as far as like details, we don't know how the Lord's gonna do it. But your brother say somehow, some way, the Lord's gonna cause certain events to happen. We may not know exactly how. We're given an abridged timeline of major points. But as far as how these points actually pop off, we don't know. But once again, people talk about this could be the start of a civil war, the immigration thing. And not only that, but you have this whole thing with a lot of Edomites that are reverting their roots back, channeling their forefathers' spirit and bringing out that old white man, that nigger, bringing out that word nigger. And a lot of that was stemmed on social media, was stemmed up from this whole, what's that nigga's name? There was some little wild young nigga that stabbed the Edomite in the heart. And pretty much you had a lot of niggas that were raising money for him, and I think he got off. Because they raised up like 400 grand for a fucking murderer. His name starts with a D, I think. But once that's another, because you have a lot of Edomites that are upset of Esau, of their being so-called oppressed or oppressed. You have the whole toxic white male thing. Edomites having to walk with shells with this whole race thing. They're starting to say fuck that. And once again, stemming civil war and race riots and race wars, the downfall of the country that you know is America. And the Lord told you niggas that this would happen, but nobody wanted to fucking listen. Hell, there were Edomites that talked about the societal the deconstruction of a society, and how race war is going to play a fucking integral part in it. But people took all that for a joke. Y'all thought we're joking or we're playing or we're losers, we're this or we're that. When we told you all these things were going to happen, but now it's happened. Where y'all at? What y'all got to say? Isaiah 19:19 or 2. Let's see, it was 19. $19 and 1. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon the and once again, correct me if I'm wrong, but in recent history with these protests, the National Guard hasn't been sent in, if I'm not mistaken. So all of these events, they keep getting worse, just like birth pains. They keep compounding and getting worse. And ultimately, for the vast majority of people, it's going to take them getting their rights stripped away, the internet being shut off and hauled off the FEMA camps for them to understand. But by then, it's going to be too late, just like Scripture said. Everything's playing out just like the Bible said, but nobody wants to listen. And, because like what they say, it may be too depressing or too sad, or it's just about doom and gloom. Well, you've been born on the ass end of a nation. How do you, in a time called the end of days, how do you think your news and prophecy is going to sound? See, there's times in our history, in prophecy, where we've been told how we were going to have a kingdom. Like you go in the Judges, how the Lord would would choose someone to be a judge and deliver our people. During that time, there was hope. There was positivity of our people getting out of those captivities. But then when things were on the downturn, when it was time for punishment, obviously it was going to be so-called bad news. But now here on the ass end of America, of a kingdom, what do you think the news is going to be like? And even with that, you have the gospel, which is called the good news, because this is the end of one kingdom and the beginning of another. But to the majority of the niggas in the world, that's not good news, because they want this kingdom to continue. Because why? Because they're evil. But in the ass end of a kingdom, when this is the end, what good news could be gleaned from that fact of how you're born in the ass end of a kingdom? Where, logically speaking, where's the good news? How would you have good news? People don't understand that. You're not going to get good news at the end of a nation. When the world is coming to an end, what good news could be brought forth from that? It only makes sense that there's so-called bad news. And it's really bad for the majority of y'all, because y'all gonna die. All you scoffers and all the 2/3 and all you niggas, it's bad news for y'all, because this is y'all kingdom. So I guess that makes sense. But y'all gonna have to stand in that square, on that gay ass rainbow colored square. Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother. And this is only going to get worse, because when you go in the second, just make sure you have niggas that's going to be killing each other for lack of food. And there's an article that came out earlier today going to how I think there's some type of cyber attack against Whole Foods or some shit like that, and their shelves are looking kind of lean. And for a few years, you've had all different types of not only talking, but you've seen it in stores where there are shortages in different things. Now, I said the Egyptians against the Egyptians, Not only the citizens, but also the people going against the government. But the citizens want to kill each other too. And everyone, they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers, and them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. Going into your leaders. And what people are asking Donald Trump what's going on. They're asking their leaders, why aren't you doing anything? What's going on? People praying fucking Jesus for things to go back to so-called normal. None of this, America is not normal. None of these heathen kingdoms are normal. None of this shit is normal. This ain't normal. A 6'5" faggot walking around in fucking booty shorts is not normal. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows that shit's not normal. Y'all just trying to fucking normalize it and force it. Everybody know that shit ain't right, nor is it normal. Grown ass, men fucking goats ain't normal. But it says the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. That whole spirit of mirth, the work, people getting put out of fucking jobs in these companies and shit. Not only that, but you have people that don't like. Not only they're getting put out of jobs and they can't really do anything on their own. Like you got people that are making money off of skills that they've developed over years, or different trades or things that they learned, and people make money off of skills. A lot of Americans don't have any of that. All these niggas who rely solely on these fucking 9-to-5 jobs, they don't even have any type of skills to make money off of in that way. So they're really fucked. But it's mainly going into the actual these businesses with these jobs and shit. The Egyptians will I give over to the hand of a cruel lord, and the fierce king shall rule over him, said the Lord of hosts. And that's looking like it likely might be Trump. Because, Joe Biden, he ain't do no shit like this. That big, beautiful bill, like cutting all types of fucking health funding. Cutting health funding like fucking crazy. Raising taxes on everybody. There's likely a ton of more shit in there that's destructive to all you people that y'all don't even know about. That's not an unrighteous decree. I don't know what is. That alone, because a lot of Americans are extremely unhealthy and they rely on medication and the hospitals and all this other shit. But pretty soon, they likely won't be able to get that. And what's going to happen? A lot of you, especially the elderly, y'all fucked. And it's tightening down, But that was pretty much it. Hope as ever finds y'all. Praise the Lord. And once again, the message constantly go out to seek the Lord while you can. Because all these, not only are these events pushing us closer to the end of, to the official, like the actual official end of America, but they also serve as warnings. Because there's still time. Your problems are still out on the street. The internet is still up. There's still time. Even though events are getting continually worse, there's still time. Well, hope as that finds y'all. Praises, glory, and honor, Yahweh, Bashim, Ashab, Bashim, Kakadash, the Ron, elders, apostles, and teacher, and minister, for the truth. Shall want to hopefully like Israel, instruction, battle, great America.